What's up, guys? It's Kictor. I'm back with my beautiful girlfriend Stitch to talk about Stars of Chaos, Volume 4. The second to last volume.
Yeah, the next one is the last one.
That's crazy.
That's what second to last means.
We have had the Pope, we have had Rat Brother, we have had two babies in a box, and you shake them around and see which one comes out.
Yep.
What's next?
It gets just as weird. It's not weirder.
Is there more or less Yifu fucking?
There's slightly less Yifu fucking. You know, it's a war. Got shit to do.
Right.
Aside from Yifu. So, I don't know, maybe Chong Gang is just taking the approach that you're gonna have to create world peace in order to have fucking Yifu hours.
Fair enough.
So, though, I gotta say, I read through the whole volume and I was fully expecting there to be some sort of giant ogre skeleton monster. I guess that was a metaphor. That did not happen.
Oh, like on the front cover.
Yeah. Like, I was like, oh man, there's an epic scene coming. I don't know what I thought this was.
Giant skeleton ogre monster on cover is not meant to be taken literally, I guess.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's like the monster inside him.
Truly.
That's what I thought.
Yes. Okay, good. That's definitely a more reasonable expectation. I wasn't really thinking much of it until I got to them. I was like, wait, what was this representing? But I think you're right.
He's got crazy double pupil disease, right?
Yeah,
like last book was when there was the scary moment of like, it's in the room with us. It's you.
I know. I was expecting that to also be forefront in this volume as well, but we really have been dealing with a lot of like down-to-earth political and war matters. There's a lot of plot going on, and it was so much so that like when I opened the book to read the first chapter, I was so lost. I had to go back and read a few chapters of the last volume to really catch myself up. So, when last we left off, Chong Gang is on a mission in Jang B to investigate a case of corruption. It's suspected that the governor, Yang Rongui, is covering up the spread of a plague among the war refugees relocated there. Chong Gang travels undercover with a harried but earnest court official named Xie Lian to root out the truth, while his queer friend, Cao Chunhua, disguises as Chong Gang to officially meet the governor in his stead. So they've got a little bit of a body double situation happening.
Okay.
And that's where things get mega confusing because the same story is like playing out on multiple fronts with all of the disguises going on.
Okay.
The governor announces that a bandit uprising has put the city on lockdown.
Not the bandit uprising.
Right? So, okay, this is what happens. Okay, Chong Gang meets the governor, and the governor's like, oops, a bandit uprising, end quotes, has put the city on lockdown. I am taking you hostage. And the emperor has been assassinated in the capital. Therefore, you, Chong Gang, must take the throne, presumably as a puppet ruler. This is, again, the cross-dressing side character who's like, I am in over my head now.
Yeah.
I did not sign up for this.
Equality for all.
Yes.
like no, this is not the war.
Yeah. Yes, so that's happening. And, I mean, oh my goodness, the emperor being assassinated? That's going to shake things up a lot.
Yeah.
But has he been assassinated? We're going to find out.
Yeah, the emperor is Chong Gang's cousin or something, right?
His brother.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
half brother.
Right.
Yes. Good memory. I didn't even remember that. It's been a long time. Meanwhile, the real Chong Gang learns from an old bandit named Sun that the governor has been massacring refugees and keeping the government relief funds for himself.
He's like, this is bandit slander.
Yes, literally. It's like, what the fuck?
As a
We're
bandit,
out here being Robin Hood and shit.
I am offended.
Yes. Sun sees through Chong Gang's disguise as not a prince and is a bit anti-government, as you can imagine, but he hears him out and he puts Chong Gang to the test to see if he's on the side of justice. So while, his friend Chong Gang is being taken hostage and, being part of this whole treason plot, the real Chong Gang is working with the bandits to hopefully come to some sort of compromise that doesn't involve slaughtering all the bandits or attacking the army.
Okay.
It's a pretty tender situation. Very delicate.
Meanwhile, what is Guyan doing? Couldn't have done it without Guyan. Join the Chinese Navy. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Guyan is building the entire goddamn navy. So the Westerners have a very large and advanced steampunk navy. That's what they're using to mostly attack at this point. But in their own nation, not so much. And it's not just a matter of reverse engineering a Westerner ship and starting production. It's about restructuring the military for naval warfare, training soldiers, developing a foundation of strategies, and a whole new area of combat. He is exhausting himself completely, barely able to eat and sleep. But when he receives a messenger bird from Chong Gang about being taken hostage, he immediately rushes into action to save him, rescuing him en route to the capital, where he discovers the imposter situation. Imagine Chong Gang throwing himself gaily into his arms, being like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad you're here." He's like, "Oh my god." Oh god, it's you.
That's so
Where's Chong Gang?
funny.
I don't know, pandas.
I love that.
It's so funny. Like, honestly, like the
Yifu! I'm so glad you're here. It's just like,
no, not you. There's a ton of detail at this part that I just kind of had to gloss over, but truly, like, all of the scenes involving these hijinks are so funny and so perilous at the same time. So good.
Stars of Chaos, more like Shen Yi in Chaos. Favorite supporting character award, he supports my heart.
I need you to understand, Chong Gang and Yifu, they are taking the back seat in the romance department just a little bit. There's some good seeds between them, but this ain't about them. This is not about Shen Yi.
This is a straight guy, right?
Yes, I am making it about Shen Yi and his straight romance, okay? We're going on a wild ride of pathetic straight man business, and it's gonna be great. I love him. I support him. You're gonna love him too. It's gonna be great.
We love toxic yaoi, and we love pathetic straight men.
Absolutely. He kind of reminds me like Jung Chung levels of patheticness.
Oh, okay.
Right? Except he's actually successful in romance.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, so you may be wondering, how's the Emperor doing? He has been nearly but not quite assassinated.
Okay.
Okay, you know, the plan was to assassinate him. It was supposed to go well, but, you know, trying to communicate regions apart. He's just, you know, the governor of Jang B is just proceeding as planned. But Shen Yi was there to save him just in time, so he's not dead. A ton of very important high-ranking people, though, are involved in this treason, including Liu Chang, a very prominent noble family guy, and the captain of the Imperial Guard, Liu Changsan, who claim they want to put a more suitable emperor on the throne. So that's bad because this throws Chong Gang under the bus. The emperor has, you know, every reason to assume that Chong Gang is involved in this to some extent. He immediately suspects that his younger brother Chong Gang willingly participated in the plot to seize the throne to himself. Old Maid Shen Yi, he is literally referred to as Old Maid Shen Yi, bless his heart, is sweating profusely, knowing that Gu Yan and Chong Gang are about to be facing charges of treason, because they are so closely intertwined. Yang Rongwei is essentially kidnapping Chong Gang for this reason, to transport him to the capital to ascend the throne in his brother's stead. The news of Chong Gang's arrival at the capital immediately seals the emperor's suspicions that he's been betrayed. If everything had gone according to plan, the emperor would have been killed by assassins, and Chong Gang, willing participant or otherwise, would have been killed in the following conflict as a treasonous rebel trying to take the throne. So, Yang Rongwei's plan wasn't actually to put Chong Gang on the throne, it was to make it look like he tried to seize power and then kill both brothers and kind of step in himself. With both royal brothers dead, the Liu family would be set to control the empire because one of the emperor's concubines, consort Liu, produced a male heir they could control moving forward.
Okay.
The emperor's son is like still very young. He's not actually an important character at this point. I don't think he ever will be, but he is a piece that can be controlled.
So fuck Yang Rongwei.
Yeah, what the hell?
Gu Yan during the most serious conversation.
I need you to understand that this is extremely literal. Gu Yan, oh my god. Thankfully, thanks to Nako's plan, because Gu Yan managed to take an armored hawk and fly directly to the capital to save the Emperor and Shen Yi and prove his loyalty.
Casual armored hawk mention?
Yeah! Yes, the flying armor.
That's cool.
I know. There is so much back and forth, like, literally that takes place during this volume, where people are just, like, flying from one place to another.
Is it like Falcon from, like, Marvel? Like Captain America's friend?
Like an Iron Man suit that flies?
With, like, wings.
I'm honestly imagining something like that.
That's cool.
It's so cool. Honestly, underrated. We love an armored hawk. Yeah, so he hears about the assassination attempt, flies to the capital, mostly to save the emperor, mostly to prove his innocence. He's like, I'm not involved in this, I swear.
It's a bird. It's a plane. That's my fucking Yifu.
So he's there to prove that he's not a part of this plot and also to explain the missing Chong Gang's innocent. He's like, that ain't him, I swear. Once the aftermath is cleaned up and the guilty parties are imprisoned, which happens pretty smoothly and it's not talked about a lot, Guyan goes back with Shen Yi to his family home where they are bullied by a talking bird. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but in Shen Yi's household, like, Shen Yi's dad has a pet parrot, essentially. It's not a parrot. I don't know what kind of bird it is. But it's a talking bird, and it just shit talks Shen Yi constantly.
Oh my god.
He's getting bullied by this bird. He bullies everyone except for Shen Yi's dad. And Guyan really isn't about that, so he asserts dominance and bullies the bird back by carrying it around by the neck by the duration of the conversation that they have. So he just like grabs this bird. It's like this bird's like fuck you, and he just grabs it by the neck and just carries it around like nothing is happening. And he ends up taking it home.
Oh my
afterwards, God. Like we're just fast forwarding through the scene. He ends up taking it home afterwards, and the next time we see the bird, it is on its best behavior. It's like fuck. Blessings upon everybody here. I love you, Guyan. I'm not being bullied. I'm blinking twice. I need help.
Oh my god.
There's some bird bullying happening in this volume. It is so funny. The bird is a little bit of an asshole, though, so I'm not mad.
It's kind of to remind you that Guyan is like this, though. Like,
absolutely.
The bullying, like, older brother kind of guy.
Yeah, he can simultaneously be so silly and also super serious, which we see in the scene when he's holding this rubber chicken by the neck and talking about something very serious, in which Mother Hen, Shen Yi, also direct quotes from the book, worries over Guyan and asks what he'll do if something comes between him and Chong Gang in the future. He's like, what if Chong Gang goes down, what if Chong Gang chooses the dark side? What are you gonna do? And have you even thought of that? And Guyan says, I have. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that he has considered this. He knows it's a potential reality, and he doesn't know what he'll do, which is actually saying a lot because Guyan is very much mission first. He will serve his nation to the death and won't care about anything else, but Chong Gang could potentially ruin him.
So they're like, wait, so you, like, might join him on the dark side? It's like, I don't know.
Be fucking scared, I don't know. Shakespeare. Meanwhile, the Emperor receives a letter from his missing brother, which informs him that while he went undercover with the bandits to convince them to stand witness before the Emperor about Yang Ronggui's crimes, internal fighting broke out and escalated to include the city's populace, who carried a lot of resentment towards the government due to Yang Ronggui's misconduct. So there ended up being a real bandit uprising because they were tired of the governor's shit. Thus, an angry mob took over the city. Despite their alliance with the bandit boss' son, Chong Gang and his associates are all but prisoners under the rebellion's lockdown, and his true identity is soon discovered by the bandit leaders, inciting one to turn against him. Chong Gang receives some serious injuries before the Jang B garrison arrives to save him. A large part of these events are written more like a brief summary than an actual scene, which makes it a little bit less engaging to read, but on the upside you could also see it as fast-forwarding to the good part, which is when Chong Gang is finally reunited with Guyan, who rushes from the capital to save him, probably using an armored hawk.
Nice!
Because of the groundwork Chong Gang laid with both the garrison and Boss San and the other bandits, a peace is able to be negotiated, saving countless lives on both sides, and the rebellion is dissolved. So, all's well that ends well sort of situation with this plot line.
Bitch, if I die, I'm going to kill you. Yifu, will you kiss it better?
Rather than a sweet and tender reunion, Guyan is barely able to repress his fury at Chong Gang when he sees the extent of his injuries, which is just his backwards way of feeling concern for him. Chong Gang, on the other hand, shamelessly acts weak in order to be spoiled and coddled, saying things like, "It hurts, kiss me," knowing Guyan can't resist him like this.
Oh my god. It hurts, kiss me, and then he tops him.
Yeah, right? The dichotomy of Chong Gang. I love, though, that this is something we see a lot in this volume, like Guyan's inability to say no to him. Like, Chong Gang is spoiled. He does, and Guyan does have a soft spot for him. It's so sweet. And to the point where even people like Shen Yi notice it. Like, he can only say no so many times before he gives in.
Right.
He even figures out that Guyan is willing to give in to almost any request after facing just a few innocent pecks and puppy dog eyes.
Wow.
Right? Like, Chong Gang is a little bit aggressive with his affections, which doesn't always work on Guyan, but when he acts very weak and demure, Guyan folds immediately.
They're like, Guyan, what will you do if Chong Gang goes to the dark side? I don't know. Cuts him and be like, oh, it's okay.
I don't know. Will Chong Gang go to the dark side after giving me puppy dog eyes? I guess I'll join him. Like, we're in danger.
Yes.
He milks Guyan's weakness through his recovery and tries to convince him that he's well enough to bang, but it backfires terribly when Guyan responds, oh, perfect, then you're well enough to explain yourself.
Oh my god.
And then we see, like, top energy Yifu come back. Yes. like, well enough to make some lovings? He's like, well enough to explain what the fuck you were thinking when you got injured, actually. The tables turn on Chong Gang completely when Guyan interrogates him as a disappointed Yifu, the only thing capable of sending Chong Gang into a panic. Guyan knows that Chong Gang is calculating and rarely makes a mistake, so what happened to him was the result of intentional choices he made. He's like, you didn't just get injured on accident. Like, that was a calculated choice you made.
Yeah.
You were willing to take a few hits for the team. But ultimately, he blames himself before Chong Gang, thinking that he may have pressured Chong Gang into solving the refugee situation even at the cost of his own health. Due to Guyan's upbringing, opening up to others or showing his true feelings makes him incredibly uncomfortable, like being forced into nakedness. Although it's incredibly difficult for him to say, and he almost loses the courage, he finally admits to Chong Gang that while he was riding from the capital, I guess he was riding on a horse. I forgot. Dang, no armored hawk.
That's okay.
Yes. He finally admits to Chong Gang that while he was riding from the capital to reach him, he was scared to death.
Aww.
The invincible, fearless general who faced countless challenges and hardships was scared to lose him.
I love that. That's even just like in a short story, like the fearless knight is afraid of losing his lover is just like,
Yeah, it's so good. And like, obviously I want to see like a lot of like emotional and physical intimacy between them, but this is kind of how their romance is playing out. It is slowly building up this vulnerability and equality between them, and these, like, especially Guyan has so many walls up still. He still feels like he has to have a certain kind of strength all of the time, even towards Chong Gang, and so they're both playing up their strengths and trying to hide their weaknesses from each other, and so I think the plot is gonna slowly tear them down enough to truly be open with each other. And this is one of those moments. And there's this quote that just sends me. Guyan says, I really don't have the strength to let another person into my heart. Like, he can fight entire fucking armies, but just letting someone into his heart is something that he is scared of doing.
I love that shit.
But he's able to say it, and that's the first step.
Yeah.
And it's true, caring for Chong Gang and worrying over him is his only weakness. Guyan devoted his whole life to serving the nation and only received betrayal for his efforts. He is tired and lonely. And it goes into a little bit of that. Like, he truly is tired and lonely. He doesn't really realize it because he's always so busy. But when it comes down to it, he is exhausted, and there's no one he can really just be himself with without any expectations.
He needs a young, spry top.
Truly.
To keep him entertained.
And that Chong Gang can do.
I love how you use the little figures. Yifu, I'm gonna fix the economy through transportation infrastructure. Choo-choo.
Yeah, more importantly, Chong Gang invents the railroad.
Really? There's flying hawks, but no one thought of a railroad?
No, that's something that only exists in the far west. We've faintly heard of it before, but Chong Gang is like, this is the future! Okay, it's part of his long-term plan to reinvigorate the economy and to win the war against the far west. The first stage of which is to resettle the refugees by providing employment and building factories, as well as new homes. The factories will then provide arms for the war effort, and giant carriages on iron rails will provide a way to quickly transport materials across the nation.
Train. The word is train.
Train, yes. I do think that train is maybe used later on, but this is kind of my funny thing included in the volume.
Isn't this so funny how, like, you know, we reviewed Danmei. That can be anything in any scenario in any universe. And often they involve historical war and stuff like that. This... They're inventing the railway! Like, it's just so funny!
It is so funny.
Like, but it's interesting because we're here for the romance. And this romance could take place on a battlefield in a small battle, and that be it. Or it could be, no, we are inventing the economy, actually.
Chong Gang is literally in the mindset of, like, I will fix every single problem in this country so that Guyan can have a break and so that I can get laid.
That's so
It's beautiful.
funny. I had to invent the railway so I could get laid.
And he is... I love the scale. I love the scale in a lot of Danmei series where it is about that. It's not just the romance. It is about changing the entire world so that you can live happily ever after, hopefully.
Aww.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So Chong Gang, ambitious, insanely brilliant. This is also the same Chong Gang that holds onto Guyan's sleeve from the window of his carriage as Guyan rides alongside him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Right? There's a picture of it too in the book.
Oh my, that's something we would do. That's so cute.
Yes,
that's so cute. Aw.
He's like a whining child who refuses to let go, all but threatening to render Guyan a literal cut sleeve in broad daylight. And this is how they arrive in the capital, greeted by Shen Yi, who can't help but notice that Guyan is incapable of saying no to the utterly spoiled Chong Gang. Even if he denies him twice, he'll certainly say yes on the third time.
Wow. Oh, Yifu. You're gonna lose your Yifu title at this rate.
I think Shen Yi makes an observation like, thank God he is not a father, because if he had to raise children, like, they would be absolutely ungovernable just like he is, because he can't say no.
Yeah.
A little bit of puppy dog lies and he folds.
Aww.
So cute. Anyways, speaking of Shen Yi,
Forget Danmei. We don't have time for Danmei. We need to talk about this pathetic straight man.
back to more important things. Forget Yifu, forget Chong Gang. I want to talk about Shen Yi.
Oh my gosh.
Shen Yi, as a scandalized maiden himself, berates Guyan for being shameless in broad daylight, holding Chong Gang's hand. However, Guyan quickly gets the upper hand when Shen Yi tries to inquire about the doctor, Miss Chen. Looks like he might have a bit of a crush on her.
Oh.
Guyan catches on instantly, and by his reaction, you would think that teasing Shen Yi was the lifeblood by which he is able to survive. The way his mood instantly skyrockets. Like, as soon as he latches onto something he can see Shen Yi about, he's like, I am in the best mood ever.
Oh my god.
This is the best day of my life.
Dangerous.
After getting his fill of teasing, he is 1000% down to wingman and tells Shen Yi everything he knows about her, which amounts to, she's super strong. Yeah, she could probably kick your ass. To which Shen Yi is not put off by at all. He's like, I love that about her. She's beautiful.
Oh.
In fact, he quite seriously intends to employ a matchmaker and send her betrothal gifts. Like, he is an old-fashioned gentleman.
I will
He's
woo
like,
her correctly.
We are going by the book. None of this bullshit you and Chong Gang are up to. We're going through the official channels. And there's some commentary about how Shen Yi is an exceptionally upright man. Despite his rebellious career path, following his passion for artificing, and then entering the army as a lowly mechanic, even after 10 years surrounded by degenerate men such as Guyan, he never once stained his character. This is a pure, innocent man who is most definitely a virgin. He has not so much as looked at a woman with lustful eyes.
He's been busy artificing, and now he sees a strong doctor and is like, maybe I'll send her a betrothal gift.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
However, he is too scared to talk to the girl he likes. He can't even talk to her. He's embarrassing. And he also doesn't know that she is an important member of the Linyuan Pavilion secret society, which Guyan then tells him immediately. He's like, did you know she's a member of the super secret Linyuan Pavilion
She's
secret
in
society?
the Illuminati?
Yeah! Delicately suggesting to him that due to her responsibilities there, she might not be free to become a commander's housewife. Like, she's kind of too cool to just settle down with you, bro.
Right. It's like, you're gonna be the housewife.
Listen to me. Okay. He's like, I don't know, bro. She's kind of too cool for you. I'll still text her, like, right now. I'll send her a message right now and just to see if she's interested. And Shen Yi's like, wait, just hold off on that. Guyan assumes at this point that Shen Yi is put off by this unexpected news about her and maybe wasn't fully set on marrying her, so he's like waffling, but is proven wrong when Shen Yi shrugs it off and says, I'll just wait till after the war is over and then resign as a general. That'll solve that problem. It's like, oh, she can't be a general's housewife? I'll be the housewife.
I'll do the cooking and the cleaning.
Yes, he's like, I will retire from the military to be with her. Like, just instantly.
Oh.
Get you a man. He's like, does not give a shit about his career. He's like, if that could be a barrier for us getting together, he hasn't even talked to her, by the way.
It was like, who makes more? Who's more powerful? Her? Okay.
Yeah.
I will stay at home.
Yeah.
I will tend the garden.
Yes, literally.
For my beautiful, powerful wife.
Is that not the best kind of straight man possible?
Yeah.
I love that. And this just like, Guyan is just like knocked back in surprise. And he like goes on to his like mother hen worrywart sort of dialogue, and he just goes like, besides, proposing during a war is not the vibe, and what if I die during our engagement? That would be so lame. I'd make
I like
her.
how he's thinking about her.
Yes.
Yeah.
All about her. Right? And
Nice.
it's so sweet because like on the one hand, he has no idea if she even like thinks of him at all. He hasn't even talked to her. She has no idea how he feels, but he's still being so conscientious about everything.
Yeah.
It's so cute. So he kind of rambles on and on and on in a cycle of fretting about what he's going to do and what he should do. And it's just so cute because this is Shen Yi's character, is that he's really not cool. He's kind of a dork. And he's also, I don't know, a little bit of an old maid, a mother hen, just all these dorky little things, but it's so cute.
I love that.
So at this point, I am on Shen Yi's side, and we're going to see what happens with him and Miss Chen.
Yifu, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, so it's time to have another Wuo Argu flare-up featuring the scary split pupils.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you may recall, the Emperor recalled Chong Gang to the capital, and that might have something to do with his own poor health, because it is causing him to look towards the future of the throne. So ever since the assassination attempt, Emperor has not been doing so hot. He's been kind of ailing, and so people are suspecting that he might entrust the crown prince's upbringing to his brother Chong Gang, or even make Chong Gang his heir. However, Guyan warns Chong Gang to not underestimate the emperor or give him reason to suspect that he has ambitions for the throne. So Chong Gang dials back his participation in court and even takes up gardening, flying under the radar completely. However, during this time, he catches a cold and develops a high fever, during which he briefly has a Wu Argu attack in front of Guyan, revealing his twin pupils. Scary. The flare-up passes quickly, but Guyan privately consults Miss Chen about Chong Gang's condition. She states that the fact that he's lucid at all is entirely due to his own extreme willpower, and that the Wu Argu attacks may come on if he's ever sick or injured. However, this is where it gets interesting. Guyan points out that no such attack occurred when Chong Gang nearly died from blood loss at the beginning of this volume, which causes Miss Chen to have a light bulb moment. Rather than the Wu Argu being a poison rooted in the brain, perhaps the poison runs through Chong Gang's blood instead.
Oh. So I gotta bloodlet him.
Literally! It's like just drain the evil blood out of him a little bit, and okay, you might die of blood loss, but also you won't be going crazy.
Okay.
If you have all your blood, you might go a little crazy.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Nothing bad ever happens at a banquet, right? Oh, Lang Qianqiu. It was his birthday. And Jesus.
You didn't recognize that Danmei at first, did you? I'm sorry, too soon? Okay. Meanwhile, the northern barbarian tribes are rather suspiciously requesting a peace treaty, even sending the youngest son of the tribe's leader as a hostage. This third prince supposedly is very sickly and never seen in public, and his entourage is full of top-tier martial artists. When he arrives at the emperor's banquet, he seems very vacant and mentally absent, which his attendant state has been his lifelong condition. But Guyan's instincts warn him that something nefarious is going on, especially when the envoy requests to meet the absent Chong Gang. Upon learning that Chong Gang was sick, the emperor sends a messenger to check on him, telling him to take a few days to recover before visiting the palace for New Year's, and to not pay any regard to the barbarians. The messenger, however, repeats the message with just enough paraphrasing to distort the meaning, implying that the emperor requested him to attend the banquet now. Thus, Chong Gang is led into disobeying the emperor and seeming overeager to meet his unsavory maternal family. The messenger was acting under orders from Wang Guo, the imperial uncle who is somewhat involved in the downfall of Guyan's family. Wang Guo is extremely worried that Chong Gang is inches away from having the power and authority to do away with him on behalf of his Yifu Guyan, so he willingly collaborates when a member of the barbarian envoy asks him to make sure Chong Gang attends the banquet. So he's getting set up to attend this banquet for some reason. And so Chong Gang arrives, walking right into a trap. The court is immediately filled with belittling jabs about his lineage. But more importantly, as soon as Chong Gang meets the barbarian prince, he is triggered into an overwhelming rush of bloodlust. For you see, the third prince is also a Wu Argu, but a failed specimen of one. He lacked willpower as a child, and so his mind broke under the poison, stunting his development.
I like how it's like, it was his fault.
Yeah.
He didn't have the willpower. It's like, you poisoned me. Oh, he wasn't strong enough.
He's like 15 years old. It's just like this poor kid. He may be used to awaken Chong Gang.
Oh.
It's kind of the thing. He's like
oh, the demon inside me knows the demon inside you.
Yes, right?
This is very creepy.
It is so creepy.
It kind of just like in a Western sense, it's like getting possessed by like the devil kind of thing.
It's very much framed like that, except there's like that weird disconnect between, is this just a literal poison or is there something spiritual going on?
Yeah.
You know, depending on who's viewing it can go either way.
Interesting.
This is like extremely creepy though. You're watching him walk into this situation and be like, oh god, what's gonna happen? Is he ready?
That's creepy.
It's so creepy. So again, he's a failed Wu Argu. He's not like the perfect specimen that Chong Gang is. And so, like, what is the reason that the envoy decided to bring these two together? It is for a very specific reason. The tribes intend to sacrifice the prince to a stronger Wu Argu, Chong Gang, in order to turn Chong Gang into a cataclysmic weapon and control him using their knowledge of secret spells and trigger words.
Are they gonna make him eat him?
I think just bringing them together, it's like, I don't know, like bringing two like roosters together.
Yeah,
they're gonna kick each other's ass. They're just gonna like ignite their killer instincts.
Oh, this is so creepy.
And it's gonna make Chong Gang like mentally implode. He's gonna go full on Wu Argu craziness, and that would usually be a bad thing for everybody present. But it's kind of implied that the northern tribes do have ways of controlling the Wu Argu, like using, again, certain like phrases and keywords, like spells that can basically kind of direct the violence away from them to their enemies.
Is the northern tribe the one that like invented the Wu Argu stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is also like Chong Gang's mother was the barbarian goddess priestess lady.
Yes.
So he's very...
Wait till the Western Pope hears about this.
It's gonna be like, nope, demons and shit, I'm out. This is crazy. We will get to the Pope shortly, I assure you.
He just walks in, he's like, he needs an exorcism. Oh my god. Like, no.
Can you imagine just exercises Chong Gang and everything's fine? What a twist that would be for this story.
Oh my god. Flick some holy water on him and we're good.
Chong Gang starts screaming. Okay, so he meets the prince. The prince just staring at him creepily. Chong Gang is overtaken by a flood of violent memories from his past, and he's on the verge of hallucination. And he's barely able to maintain control while a delicate scenario unfolds, with the envoy and Wang Guo both making comments to imply that he was not the emperor's son, but rather the bastard child of the empress's barbarian sister, who is the woman who raised him before Guyan found him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Chong Gang starts bleeding. Guyan intervenes at this point and turns the situation on the foreign envoy, accusing them of some dirty trick to harm him and whisk Chong Gang away to receive medical attention. Of course, what happened wasn't that Chong Gang got mysteriously injured by the envoy. He had a hidden knife on him, and in order to maintain his self-control, did a little DIY bleaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, because immediately before this, he did learn from Miss Chen, like, hey, problem's not in your brain, it's in your blood.
Yeah.
He's like, cool, got it, give me a knife. So, yes, he was ready for that and was able to leach the poison enough to not go cray-cray.
It's funny because in the olden days, people did believe letting your blood out would heal you.
Right, and it's something we see in a lot of, like, traditional Chinese medicine that also appears in Danmei. Like when someone coughs up blood, it can be, like, a good thing, because it's getting the bad blood out. And so this definitely makes sense if the poison is in your blood.
Yeah.
So, after this point, Wang Guo is quickly found out and punished for his involvement. The envoy is detained, thrown in a dungeon, and surprisingly, Chong Gang chooses to resign from his duties as prince, stepping away from the court altogether, which does the job of inciting the sympathy of the emperor.
Right.
Right? He's still playing this game of, exercising authority, stepping away from power, because ultimately, as long as he doesn't piss off the emperor, he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
As the situation wraps up, we're left to wonder why the foreign envoy tried to incite a war in the capital like this. Couldn't they just attack from the border like they always had in the past? Well, Guyan suspects that the Wolf King, Xie Lian, the king of the 18 barbarian tribes, is experiencing an internal struggle for power. One of his sons may be vying for control and would stand to gain from weakening the tribes from within. There's something going on here in the northern tribes we're trying to suss out.
Okay. More importantly, back to straight disaster Shen Yi.
I don't care about that. We're going to talk about Shen Yi. Shen Yi is patrolling the imperial dungeon after locking up the barbarian prince and his entourage, and his keen senses pick up on the shadow of an intruder, which he attacks with his wind slasher, is blocked, and then rips off the intruder's veil, only to see the woman of his dreams.
Oh my god.
Chen Qingsu.
I'm so sorry I wind slashed you.
Never mind the fact that you're sneaking around in the dungeons. Oh my god. He is rendered a gaping idiot, but quickly hides her from the other guards and covers for her.
Nice.
I think it's quite beautiful that he didn't suspect her of anything nefarious when she was snooping around.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, Miss Chen was only sneaking into the dungeon to seek out clues about the Wu Argu to help Chong Gang.
Mm-hmm.
She can even provide a letter from Chong Gang to attest her intentions, which Shen Yi is incapable of reading due to his brain being reduced to sludge in her presence. She's like, I'm so sorry, this is so awkward, letter of recommendation, I'm not here to do anything bad. He's like, I cannot read this because you are too pretty.
Oh my god.
But thank you.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He accompanies her red-faced and scarcely breathing, and they learn from the barbarian envoy Chukuyo that Xie Lian has weakened in old age, and the second prince is not behind this incident. So they brought the third prince. So there's still a second prince and a first prince.
Okay.
And they're suspecting that the second prince might be the one behind this situation because the first prince is very filial and taking care of his father. Yeah.
Okay.
So, weakened in old age, and the second prince is not behind this incident, but is rather being used as a puppet ruler by someone else. As for why Chikuyo prompted this attempt at war, he is to his core loyal to the king and what he thinks his wishes would be. In this case, he thinks that the 18 tribes are better off destroyed by war rather than subjugated under the Liang nation, likely to live as serfs mining for violent gold in their homelands. He does tell Miss Chen that the king is the one who turned the third prince into the Wu Argu, so if anyone would know about a cure, it'd be him.
Rip Shizen.
Yeah, bad news about Shizen.
Oh no.
Bet you forgot about that there was a Shizen in this book.
I did.
Yes. But first, a quote from the book to remind us about why Guyan puts up with Chong Gang. With all of this happening, Guyan is going out of the capital again to do plot stuff. So he's leaving Chong Gang behind. Chong Gang again stepped away from his duties as prince to chill, keep things on the down low. But after Guyan leaves, he finds a letter in his clothes, something only an intimate lover could do.
Oh.
And he thinks, oh god, it's a love letter from Chong Gang. And it's so thick. But he unfolds this letter and discovers that it is a giant map of Great Liang that would cover the expanse of the room's floor if spread flat.
Whoa.
The 3 sections of the Yangtze River, the 5 lakes, the former territories of the Chu and Oiyue kingdoms, all things big and small, were labeled on the sheet of paper. In addition to landmarks, the map was covered in a dense layer of annotations penned in minuscule script, the places they ought to cut into the mountain and the places they ought to build factories, the most fertile land for planting and fishing, and the ideal ports to expand towards global trade, harbors that could accommodate a fleet of proper seafaring dragon warships, and passages that could be developed into a dedicated channel for the transport of violet gold, even regions that required expansions to the official highway system in areas that would eventually be linked by the great kites and improved great condors, and more lines scrawling over the entire country like so many arteries. These were railways, the tracks for the western steam locomotives Chong Gang had mentioned to him once upon a time, which sped across the land like the winding coils of dragons capable of traveling 1,000 kilometers in a day. Attached to the bottom of the map was another sheet of paper containing schematics for the steam locomotives themselves, marked with Master Feng Han's expert annotations and the God of Wealth's calculations on transport capacity and construction costs. Below these, the thick stack of billow paper contained a strategic plan for the future direction of Great Liang's government. The Grand Council and Canal Commission had already come to fruition, but there were listed several other organizations Guyan had never even heard of, their highly efficient hierarchies succinctly delineated. On and on the document went, their pages innumerable. Had Guyan seen such a thing 5 years ago, he would have thought an exaggerated plot of some wild tale told by commoners. Now, though many of the plans sketched here had yet to be actualized, they were a stone's throw away from becoming reality. These ideas no longer were the stuff of fantasy. At the very bottom of the stack of marvelous schematics was a painting. The brushstrokes were somewhat crude. It was clear the artist was no master of this craft, but the subject was unmistakable. Sparse lines depicted a young child playing with firecrackers by the roadside. Behind him stood a tree painted with large swaths of bright color, flowers or some sort of unidentifiable fruit on its branches. Far in the distance, an overlapping landscape of mountains and rivers smudged its way to the edges of the paper. It was an idyllic scene, festive and peaceful. There was no artist's signature or poem, only 4 words, "The world at peace," laid over the image like a stray annotation. Their vast nation seemed to unfurl like a length of silk brocade beneath brush and ink. Warmth sparked in Guyan's chest. He pressed a hand to it and realized he'd been holding his breath. He couldn't help but bring his fingers to his temple and laugh soundlessly. Little Chong Gang, with his childish appeals for affection, was pathetically adorable. But it was Prince Yan, shaping the state through the power of his pen, who truly moved him.
This is the recipe for world peace.
Yeah! Chong Gang gave, as he's leaving the capital, setting off on another mission, in this kind of hopeless situation of ongoing war and strife and political upheaval, Chong Gang gives him the blueprint, his master plan. He's saying, this is the vision I have of the future. This is what I promise to deliver. I'm going to give you a world at peace so that you can finally take a break.
That's fucking awesome.
And Guyan believes that he has full faith that Chong Gang is capable of this immense goodness, this immense change in the world. And that's what he finds deeply moving and attractive about him.
Yeah.
That he and him share this vision for the future. And Guyan is not someone who thinks these broad brushstrokes. He is someone who can engineer great change and find a way through difficult times and command armies. But this kind of immense worldview is not something he has a place, he's serving his nation. He's not that ambitious. He's not trying to rule in a way. So this is they make the perfect dream team.
Exactly. Chong Gang's done the thinking, and it's now just execute.
Yep. He's we're gonna do this together.
Make the railroad, and then children can enjoy fireworks.
Yes. And you can rest a little bit. So
that's awesome.
That's beautiful. That's probably my favorite scene in this volume. But we're going to move on to the plots from here on out. Okay. So, the Wolf King is not making this wild risk for nothing. By the time Guyan arrives at the northern front line, he's already determined his real ploy. The king may be risking war with Great Yang, but if he's allied with the Westerners to act as a diversion for them to invade from the south, Great Yang could potentially suffer an overwhelming defeat. And with the worst possible timing, Commander of the Navy General Zhang Chan dies from a fall in his old age, leaving a gaping hole in Jang B's military defense and political stability. General Zhang Chan was the Shifu of both Guyan and Chong Gang, so this death hits Guyan personally when he finally gets time to process it. Guyan immediately goes to Jang B to take over the situation and pay his respects to his teacher's body. Chong Gang is sent by the emperor to also pay his respects to the fallen general. But as he arrives to do so, he comes upon Guyan having a coughing fit, hacking up blood. The way Chong Gang is instantly this close to a mental breakdown the moment something happens to Guyan is something I really appreciate. It's very endearing. At any rate, Guyan is mostly blind and mostly delirious when Chong Gang rushes to help him. He says Chong Gang's name, but doesn't even recognize who he is, thinking he's just some soldier on duty, and tells him not to worry Chong Gang about this incident. He realizes how much Guyan has protected him from worrying even the slightest bit about him, whereas he had burdened Guyan with worrying over him constantly. In this case, coughing up blood was more of a good thing, like we mentioned earlier. It was stagnant blood in his body that had built up through constant overwork and from untreated injuries. So he mostly needs rest for the time being. When he awakens, it is a complete role reversal for when Guyan interrogated the injured Chong Gang. This time, Chong Gang coldly demands an explanation, and Guyan tries to deflect with humor and flirtatious touches, then quickly turns to fury and authority when he assumes he's been ratted out by some undisciplined soldier. He is humbled into silence when Chong Gang responds that the little bastard in question was him. Guyan is saved by the bell, except unfortunately it is an alarm bell. The Jang B navy is under attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's this like huge shift in the plot as we are like going to the north because there is, attacks there, and now there's attacks to the south, and it seems like there's this kind of united front between the barbarian tribes and the far west, and they're trying to take down Great Jiang once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is time to meet the Pope.
Move over, Pope. Emissary from the Holy Empire. Oh. Who is this diva?
So, the Pope returns, but he's not doing so hot. He seems to be ailing somewhat, and he's not behind this most recent collaboration with the northern tribes. Rather, he's more and more at the mercy of the emissary sent from the Holy Empire, which is providing violet gold to the Western army. So the emissary is kind of holding the purse strings to this operation.
Okay.
The emissary is implementing more aggressive strategies and pushes the invasion from the south. He has no name, but he does wear a top hat.
Okay.
Yes, he's just the emissary with a top hat. Just imagine Jing Guanyao there.
Yes.
This guy is not as smart as Jing Guanyao, unfortunately, as we will soon see.
Christian Jing Guanyao.
Ultimately, the emissary's insistence on a surprise attack against Jang B's navy wins out over the Pope's discretion. To their credit, it truly was a surprise attack. Guyan did not see it coming, especially since he's blind, and especially because this attack did not follow the more thoughtful strategy.
Especially because he's blind. You just put that in there to make sure I was listening.
Yes. Yes. Guyan's adversary has been the Pope this entire time, right?
Yeah.
She's like, wait a second. This does not match the thoughtful strategy of my usual adversary, the Pope. At the same time, Guyan also receives word that the northern tribes launched a similar surprise attack. Under the pretense of surrendering, they blew up a tribute of violet gold to break through Great Jiang's military defense. Yeah, so it's happening. The invasion from both ends, happening now.
Okay.
Guyan is fucking blind.
Yeah.
Guyan is prepared to don heavy armor to lead the Jang B troops when Chong Gang begs that he trust him to act on his behalf instead. Guyan not only agrees, but issues no orders, giving Chong Gang his full trust to command the troops as he sees fit, which is kind of hot.
Mm-hmm.
Guyan instead monitors the bird's eye view of the battle, mapping out the lines of defense, managing the distribution of violet gold and ammo to various areas. Chong Gang is able to break through the Western Navy's left flank due to a strange series of movements on the enemy side. The wily Pope ended up using the emissary's ship as cannon fodder in order to eliminate his interference completely, even at the cost to his own army.
Oh.
Shortly after, the Western Navy retreats altogether. So, the Pope was able to sacrifice the emissary and then do what he really wanted to do, which was pull back his forces. He did not want the surprise attack.
Was all that was left of him was a floating top hat on the waves?
I wish we had gotten that. Yeah, so we took care of that really quick. So they immediately, they get to solve the immediate crisis of this attack, pretty easily. So shortly after that, the Western Navy retreats altogether. Chong Gang and Guyan are reunited once more, but ever so briefly, as Guyan now commits himself to this new reality. Until the war ends, he'll be running back and forth between the northern and southern fronts without a break. He may not even be able to keep his promises to Chong Gang, to be there for him and to keep him from going insane. Chong Gang, on the other hand, is now experienced a taste of what it means to command an army and is just now realizing how exhausting it is. He doesn't want to burden Guyan's shoulders with this kind of shit. Sorry,
right.
He doesn't want this burden on Guyan's shoulders. He wants to build a peaceful and prosperous nation where Guyan has no burdens at all.
Yeah.
We've seen Chong Gang's plan for the future, but him getting to kind of literally step into Guyan's armor for just one battle is enough for him to be like, holy shit, Yifu must be so tired.
Yeah.
He's doing this constantly. Like, and it was a really nice moment too, because like Chong Gang is so clever and capable, like navigating the political side of things and the infrastructure side of things, that you kind of get and he's also like really good with a sword and a bow. Like, he is a capable fighter.
Yeah.
So you kind of get it into your head that, oh, he must be just as good as Guyan at like commanding troops in a battle and stuff. He's just so strong and capable.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not his forte. And we do get to see that is exclusively Guyan's strength.
They would have very different Myers-Briggs answers.
Yes.
Is this more Shen Yi?
Yes!
You have used this photo on like
There's
5 slides.
There's only one photo of him, okay? If anyone wants to draw art of Shen Yi, I am here for it, because this is the only image we have of him.
Get you a man. Oh boy.
Shen Yi is my hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Shen Yi is commanding the front lines in the north, and over the last 3 days, the battle has reached a stalemate. Despite Great Zheng's army being better equipped and more organized, the Wolf King is resorting to suicide tactics using an immense amount of violet gold. But, at the very least, Shen Yi is also starting to make an impression on Miss Chen. While she is no stranger to a world of bloodshed and violence, as a doctor she has never served so close to the front lines of a war zone. Seeing soldiers not only wounded but actively getting injured around her is enough to impact even someone as calm and collected as her. In this chaotic environment, Shen Yi has awkwardly taken good care of her despite having a million other things to look after as well. The moment fighting broke out, he grabbed the reins of her horse and said, "Stay with me." And the look on his face, quote, left an impression on her more profound than even the towering flames of war.
Oh.
Get you a man more profound than the towering flames of war?
Damn.
Like, oh my god.
He grabbed the reins of her horse.
Yes. I was like, stay with me. And then he was like a little bit embarrassed about that, but like...
But that's hot, though.
Yes. Yeah, he was like, do not leave my sight. It's a fucking war zone. I know!
I just love that, like, she's a powerful woman, but she had her, like, moment of, like,
Oh my god.
Love her for that.
Yes! It was incredible. But also, it's not like a full, like, doki, like, she's immediately seen him in a romantic light. It's just, like, the beginnings of a strong impression.
Yes.
It's building slowly still. There's still more slides with this one photo of Shen Yi.
No, there's not! That's so funny!
I'm kidding, okay. The next slide is still about Shen Yi, though. He also accidentally holds her hand when he nearly collapses at one point, and she lends him a hand to steady himself.
Oh my god.
Which was mortifying for him. I just imagine the Mr. Darcy hand flex.
Oh, yes.
He fully expected Guyan to have returned after paying his respects to his teacher, not to have to command Guyan's troops in battle that would decide the fate of the nation. This man has no grand ambition in life and stumbled his way into this position purely from his misfortune in being besties with Guyan. But Guyan's messages tells him that as long as he's able to hold out for a few more days, the internal discord within the tribes will disintegrate their morale. And if the invasion of the North fails, the Westerners' naval invasion will also suffer. So, after dealing with the naval attack in the south, Guyan returns to the north, where Shen Yi has successfully stalled out the northern invasion for now. However, to Shen Yi's horror, Miss Chen is determined to sneak into enemy territory to learn about the Wu Argu. Like, he immediately protests when he hears that, but her dedication to the Linyuan Pavilion and to furthering the field of medicine for future generations extends beyond risk to her safety, humbling Shen Yi's small fantasies of a domestic cottagecore life together.
She's like, I am going to risk myself in order to find more about this fucking poison.
He's like, fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Unable to stop her or voice his feelings, he gives her a signal flare and awkwardly tells her that if anything happens... Actually, he isn't able to tell her directly that he'll come to her aid. He just runs out of the tent like an idiot.
Oh.
Gets the point across, but still.
Oh my god.
He's not able to, like, look at her and be like, I'll come save you. He's like...
Yeah. Aww.
It's so cute,
That is
though.
really sweet.
Yes, he cares about her so much. Oh my goodness. And I love that he obviously doesn't want her to do anything hazardous.
Yeah.
But he's also not about to stand in her way.
Mm-hmm.
So hot.
Very hot.
Okay.
In the midst of a chaotic war zone, the Wolf King enters a forgotten temple that is more than it appears. But all I'm thinking about is Shen Yi's love story.
So
What is this?
It's an old Wolf King.
What the hell? Okay. Uh-huh.
Behind enemy lines, the Wolf King is an infirm old man barely hanging on to life. The other tribes attempted to oust him from power using his second son as a puppet ruler. Nevertheless, he managed to cling fiercely to his position and remains determined to fight Great Liang to the last breath. Cheng Jingsu and Cao Chuanhua infiltrate behind enemy lines pretending to be peace envoys seeking an audience with the king, biding their time with the noble families with a plentiful amount of bribes. Through some patience and a few clever ruses, they tip the long-suffering nobles in favor of assassinating their king. On the night of the assassination, Miss Chen lights the signal flare with a moment of regret in giving it up to bring the Black Iron Battalion.
So there was a moment.
There was a moment. She was like, I kind of don't want to use it. I kind of want to keep it. But she did light it.
Yeah.
And to bring in, to kind of signal that they are assassinating the king, to move in.
The king who was like about to die anyways.
Yeah, honestly, but he's causing a lot of trouble, so he has to go.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the assassination fails, and the king remains alive in the chaos between rebels and royal guards.
How did they fail to kill this decrepit old wolf?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
He's got a lot of spunk in him, okay?
Oh gosh.
He's the Wolf King.
Damn.
Chen Qingsu has no choice but to follow his escape to an abandoned temple dedicated to the barbarian goddess, which turns out to be a steampunk airship buried in the sand.
That's cool.
It's cool as fuck.
That's so cool.
It would be a little bit cooler if it wasn't so jank. It is a poorly crafted imitation of a steampunk airship, as engine technology was completely unknown to the northern tribes until recently.
Okay.
Instead of
trying their best.
Yeah, they're trying their best. And so, like, the king, he's, like, crawling into this temple. He's, like, you know, lifting off. It's, like, you know, the violet gold is igniting. It's, like, raising out of the sand. It's super epic.
This is so cool.
It's so cool. And instead of lifting off, it starts to implode immediately as Chen Qingsu follows him inside. So it's, like, it's this temple airship thing is, like, raising up, but it's also just like exploding and crumbling to the ground all epically. She is inside it with the king, trying to just get some answers out of him before he dies.
Oh my god.
And the king's intention doing this is to die all along, just with a little bit more spark involved.
Okay.
He's like, I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna make it out. I'm gonna fucking blow up the ship.
I'm obviously gonna go in my super cool ship.
Yeah, right? Kind of fair. Cao Chuanhua, of course, was quick to report back to the Black Iron Battalion on the direction of her whereabouts, which causes Shen Yi to race to her rescue. This is the sexiest thing, okay? I need you to understand. He is showing up, knowing that the love of his life, who he's barely talked to, is in this exploding airship. Shen Yi is wearing his armor, which is powered by violet gold, which is extremely explosive. So he drops his armor into the sand and rushes into the raging inferno without anything to protect him.
Oh my god.
Okay, and
That's
also
so hot.
it's so hot. He does a little somersault in the snow first to kind of like
Get some snow on him?
Get some snow on him to
Yeah.
kind of protect his.
Also, I was not imagining snow.
I wasn't either. I don't know why there's snow.
Well, they're in the north.
They're in the. It's winter.
Okay.
It's winter. It's a desert, but it's also cold.
Yeah, it snows.
Yeah. Maybe I was making up maybe I just chose deserty reference images. Maybe it's not really a desert. It's kind of out there. It's in the woods. I don't know. Yes. And I thought that was really clever and quick-witted, but it also kind of sounds a little bit silly, so I told you the cool version first. And then just imagine him do a little bit of a roll in the stop, drop, and roll in the snow first, which is, again, it's like he's so smart.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go into this raging inferno. Might as well get some snow on me to kind of help.
Yeah, the flame retardant snow.
A little bit of moisture.
I get it. I get it.
Okay. I appreciated the
I
sentiment.
love
If
that
I
we're
was
fixating on this moment.
if I was going to rush into a raging inferno to save you, I
would have hoped that you did a somersault in some snow first,
right,
so that you maybe don't have third-degree burns.
Right. Yeah. So he's just, and it's just like, imagine him like doing this out of
Not with the snow.
Okay, I want you to know that in my mind, this is like a Hollywood movie moment. I'm like romanticizing the fuck out of this.
So funny.
Okay, anyways. Back inside the airship. She is searching through the smoke and the flame to find any clue in the temple and is nearly crushed by burning debris when Shen Yi saves her just in time, yanking her by the collar and yelling, "Are you trying to get yourself killed?"
Oh my god.
We love a man who gets a little bit mad when you put yourself in danger.
Yes.
Hot.
Yes.
Hot as the raging inferno around them.
Yeah.
But his anger fizzles out upon seeing her face, and he
Aw.
focuses on getting them out alive, along with a weird statue of a woman covered in human skin. Like
Ew,
find
what the fuck?
that she finds that in the temple. Is like, this looks important, and she takes that.
That's so
And he's like, "What the
gross.
fuck? Ew!" He's like, "Okay, fine." He's carrying it for her. It's a
Ew.
life-size statue of a woman. I guess maybe the barbarian god, and it's covered in human skin though, so it's like soft to the touch. It's,
Ew, that's so gross. That is, oh my god. I don't know why that is
It's
so
disgusting.
gross.
Yeah,
to
it's so
me,
gross.
though. Oh my god.
Shen Yi is carrying it the whole way out. And the king is just in there. He's like, "I will go down with this ship." He's having his moment.
Yeah.
They make a narrow escape as the rest of the temple collapses in a fiery wreck, and Shen Yi shields Miss Chen with his body, a gesture which makes an indescribable feeling rise in her heart.
Aw. Yay, go straight people.
I know! How novel! Ugh. So good.
This is such an epic moment, and none of the main characters
I
are
know!
involved.
I know! It's, again, this volume, it's about Shen Yi, okay?
Do we find out what's in the skin mummy thing?
Not yet, no.
Oh my god.
Because this is where...
I hope it has the secrets to, like, the Wuargo thing.
I guess. Yeah, this is basically where the novel ends.
Oh my god.
So we don't know what's up with the weird doll thing. The volume ends with the profound image of this temple and its once powerful king reduced to smoke and ash, signaling the end of the 18 tribes and the beginning of a new era, perhaps even the beginning of the end of this long war with multiple fronts. The next volume, I believe, is the final volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we get an answer for Chong Gang with his illness.
Yeah.
And hopefully
They can build the railroad.
Hopefully they can build the railroad. Hopefully the Pope gets one last cool scene before he's defeated by his arch nemesis Guyan.
Can Guyan just, like, dap up the Pope and then be like, you know, peace. Like, peace be with you.
And also with
Boom!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. That was kind of my impression too. Like, what's gonna happen? What just happened?
Damn, okay.
Anyways, yeah.
I feel like that book has intrigued me more than the other volumes so far. But maybe that's because you're so good at describing, like, the action scenes and stuff.
It's because Shen Yi is just such a prominent character in this volume.
Oh
He's
my
where the
God.
action's at.
Do you think Shen Yi and the Doctor are, like, a foil for Guyan and Chong Gang at all?
I think they're just a cute side couple, honestly.
Okay.
They don't seem like they have any drama. They seem perfectly lovely, and it does seem like it'll work out.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe that Miss Chen actually...
What if Shen Yi dies?
Stop. Listen. I will kill myself. Stop it. Okay, stop. I didn't even consider that.
Well, thank you for another incredible summary. Oh my god. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And if you would like to purchase this book or pre-order the final volume, there is no special edition, unfortunately, but it will be the final volume of Stars of Chaos.
The stars in peace, maybe?
Yeah, Stars in Railroad.
I hope Shen Yi gets married. I am here for his story. I don't even know what's going on with main characters anymore. I just want to know what happens to the straight man. I'm obsessed with him. Oh, what does Miss Chen have that I don't?
Oh my god. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.